Welcome to episode 165 of the Muck Podcast, a member of the Odd Pods Media Network. Listen in as we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics. I'm Tina Hadamia.
And I'm Hillary Doherty.
Ooh, look at that sunshine coming our way.
You know, you never know what you're going to get when you come over to my house. Could be crying, could be happy.
Aww.
Never know.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So, anyway, we're recording 2 episodes this morning. It's bright and early.
We're doubling down on this podcast.
Yeah, I gotta go to Memphis. I gotta go. I have to go.
Yes.
You know, they're forcing me to do it, people. They're forcing me. Just kidding.
Oh, darn. Now I have a song in my head, that Memphis song.
Walking in Memphis.
Yes, that's the one that's...
You know
Do
what?
you really feel the
It's a
way
great fucking
I
song.
feel? Yeah. Okay, sorry. It's too early.
You know, we had an Odd Pods meeting this week, and Russ from Infectious Groove is a huge Elvis fan, like big time. So we go on, and before the meeting starts, you know, I feel like I'm gonna do a brag, and I go, "Hey Russ, guess where I'm going this Saturday? Next Saturday, guess where I'll be?" And he goes, "Where?" And I said, "I'm going to Graceland." And he goes, "Yeah, I've been there like 30 times." I was like, "God damn it!" What the fuck?
I love that he's been there 30 times.
I mean, you know, I always look at both sides of those things. Like, is this a good thing or is it a bad thing? But when he was there for work all the time, so that's why he would just go. And I would do the same thing if I was there, right?
If you could just stroll past Elvis's grave and know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's incredible. I am ready for the spirit of my Lord and Savior, Elvis Presley, to enter my body.
Oh my God.
So the second half of my life, I'm going to be like, my hips are going to be shaking.
Oh, and you're just going to wear bell bottoms or wear those big glittery...
Yes. Tits out.
Oh, tits out.
You know.
Jumpsuit. Glitter.
Okay. Giant sunglasses. I actually bought Elvis glasses I'm going to be wearing in Memphis. Don't doubt my skills on what's going to be happening in this Instagram post.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
The outfits have been planned. I'm going to be doing travel Instagram Elvis realness. Every single day in Memphis.
Please tune in.
I have my leopard coat. I have some really cool tees I'm gonna match with like hats and like look at the whole fucking thing.
It's adorable.
It's adorable, and I'm gonna live my best life.
You know what? Do it.
Why not? Why not?
What are we waiting for?
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
All live our best lives.
Speaking of, we were just talking about Counting Crows because we're trying to figure out an album that we both love that we can go on. That record got me high. Yeah. And there's a song called "A Murder of One," I think it's called, and I was listening to it, and it's like, "Don't waste your life," and I was like, "Oh, this fucking song is so good."
So good.
It just reminded me of what you just said. Like, what are you waiting for? You know what I mean?
Carpe diem.
Yeah.
Seize the
Murder.
day.
Yeah, Murder of One. It's such a fucking great song.
That album is so good.
That's what we should. Maybe we should go on. We both love Counting Crows. That's like one of the things that we figured out.
His lyrics.
Oh, that's my whole thing. I've been in my mind thinking of the things I would say about Adam Duritz.
He's just brilliant.
I think he's one of the most incredibly brilliant poets of our time.
And I feel like underrated.
Absolutely. His words are fire. Like,
all right, so Rob, we're coming on.
Yeah.
And that's the album
we'll do the Counting Crows. We'll do Counting Crows. I think that'd be a great album for us.
So excited. I got goosebumps for it.
I gotta send Rob a message. We gotta get in. We gotta get in.
Listen, get on the list.
He's like 2 months behind. Like he is like on top of those podcast episodes. What's on your list of topics this week? Since we're doing 2 episodes, I had to like break up what
I did too.
What will be relevant in 2 weeks to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't even know if I can hit Florida. It is one thing after the next in Florida with not only that Reedy Creek takeover by DeSantis, but now he is gonna try to manage the content of Disney.
Oh my God! It's my favorite thing. I mean, it is the most incredible fucking. Like I said on my Twitter, this is the story of the year. DeSantis taking over Disney is the story of the year.
But this is insane to me that the people who are small government have someone that has taken over one of the biggest corporations or attempting to in Florida, right? I mean, this is our moneymaker in the state. It is. Yeah. So how many people flock to Disney? Come on. And Disney can go where it wants. Yeah. Do you know that Disney can pick up sticks and just go, we're going to be in Georgia, and then they can build their like Christian wonderland in its space, I guess. I don't know. But like, what?
Well, that's not going to happen.
I know. But what in the world?
No,
I would love Disney to pick up sticks and be like, bye.
Let's start here.
This guy is such a little man. He's a dictator.
Let's just be clear though. Disney is fine. They'll be fine. But
will the employees of Disney be fine?
You better believe that they are fucking pissed over there that this is happening. Now they still get a lot of the shit that they have. They still get all their tax discounts or whatever, their credits, I don't know, whatever. They still get a bunch of shit. But he did put people in place who are now saying that they will start to look at content, which I find fucking fascinating. I find it to what DeSantis thinks is appropriate. I find that fascinating. And corporations, including Disney, should be banding together, Florida corporations, and sticking it to Ron DeSantis. Y'all really need to band together. Because Disney, all they said was that they support the LGBTQ community, and this is the result. That is what happened. Yeah. Nobody was messing with Disney until that happened. Then they said they support because let's not forget this, they did that because the LGBTQ employees were standing outside the Disney headquarters in Orlando with signs saying you don't support your employees because they were supporting Ron DeSantis.
Right.
And so that's what the company did. They took a stand, and this is the result.
And this is, and again, I feel like we are here sounding the alarm on our little podcast. But
that nobody fucking
listens to. So
right,
please share. Please
put this in a vault somewhere and bury it in the yard. Yeah, and when Florida's underwater, they'll find it. Be like, these women were brilliant.
Yeah, they knew what the hell was going on. Like those of you listening around the world, like just take this clip, put it somewhere. But you guys need to understand, like we are in danger. I know I said it last episode, but just the LGBTQ community,
especially
trans is so under attack. They just they're passing the bill where you can't get self-affirming care. And the other thing that is more frightening is the idea that Florida courts could take, quote, emergency custody of kids with trans parents or siblings, even if they live in another state.
Oh my God.
That's what's on the docket. Meanwhile, as we've screamed a million times, that there are actually real world issues. But imagine that now we have the government, the little government of the GOP, separating families. Like, what?
You can't live here. If I had a trans child, I would have been gone already. You can't live here. And it's a fight that needs to happen, but I would never put my child in the middle of that. And I know there's families who are going to do it because they have to, because
they can't do anything,
because somebody needs to fight. Right, but let me tell you something. You find a way, but you get your child out of here. Because the second that care is not available anymore, that child's life is in danger. And so you have to get the fuck out. And I can't believe, like, we could say it a million times, but the level of the government coming into your home and telling you how to be a parent and the medical decisions you want to make for your child, between you and your child's doctor and your child.
Yep.
Those decisions. Let's not pretend like 12, 13, 14-year-olds can't make decisions like that and don't understand what's happening. They know what's going on with their bodies. They've known since they could understand gender. They knew that they were different and they didn't belong in that body. These are facts. And so the government of Florida wants to come into your home and in your doctor's office. We're not surprised by that. We've been dealing with that for fucking 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
Them chipping away at those rights. But the fact that someone's children or child could be affected by this, it puts their life in danger. You get your child out of the state.
Or the fact that they could take your child if you're in a divorce and they want to take that child back. No. This is insane.
It's really bad.
Can you imagine?
They just...
ripping someone's child away from... that's when you have to leave the country. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
You gotta get out. You gotta get out of here. My favorite thing, I love that. I hate the stunts that people pull, but I love that they keep doing it because these are representatives that are so insignificant that want to be famous so badly. They want the public to talk about them so badly that they will put up legislation that is ridiculous and a waste of fucking time. And it pisses me off because so many people are suffering, including me,
right,
including Tina,
right,
as a teacher, as a homeowner, as a woman. Like, there are people who are suffering, children, trans children. And this motherfucker, State Senator Blase Gongaglia, I don't even know how to say this fucking piece of shit's name. That's probably why also he wants to be famous, so people know how to pronounce his shit name. He's a state senator out of Spring Hill, which is in the armpit of Florida over there, like northwest Florida somewhere. He put up Senate Bill 1248. Have you heard of this? It's called the Ultimate Cancel Act.
Oh.
Okay? And it says in there, oh, I'm sorry. Let me read it because I sent the tweet to myself and I was like, I've got to read this on the show. All right. Today, Florida State Senator Blase Ngoglia filed SB 1248, Political Parties, the Ultimate Cancel Act in the Florida Senate.
Oh, I know this.
If passed, this legislation will immediately decertify any political party that previously advocated for slavery in their party platforms. Any registered voters affected by this decertification would automatically become non-party affiliated.
Yeah.
And he says, quote, "For years now, leftist activists have been trying to cancel people and companies for things they have said or done in the past." They just canceled Disney. This includes the removal of statues and memorials and the renaming of buildings. Using this standard, it would be hypocritical not to cancel the Democratic Party itself for the same reason.
This guy is such an idiot.
The Democrat Party adopted pro-slavery positions in their platforms during the conventions of 1840, 1844, 1856, 1860, and 1864. And here's what I want to say to the senator.
Read a history book is number one.
Number two.
Read a history book.
Number two, you don't have to do a cancel act for the Democratic Party in Florida. They already don't exist. It's already a dead party. You're like doing repetitive work. They've taken care of that for you with incompetence and stupidity. You don't have to cancel. They're already gone. You stupid idiot.
It is, and they don't know history. They don't know about things switch. Like, they're so dumb.
It's not worth it.
They are so dumb.
So stupid.
Dumb.
But I ask you, Senator, maybe can you do me a favor so that maybe I don't have to like sell my house and live in my fucking car next year? Maybe
do some work.
You could do something about homeowners insurance.
Yeah, do a little bit of work. Do some work.
As a single woman who makes a decent living and can afford to pay for her mortgage, I'm going to be priced out of my house by probably next year. Okay? And I'm a lucky one. I'm privileged. I sit in a lot of fucking privilege with the money that I make. If I'm being priced out of my house, how are other people who work 2-3 jobs able to afford their mortgages? Middle class people are being squeezed out of home ownership in Florida because of the cowardice of the Republican legislature and bowing down to insurance companies and blaming lawyers for the cost going up when you have the direct responsibility to take care of this for people. But you want to talk about canceling a political party? Get your head out of your ass.
It's the stupidest.
You're a joke of a fucking senator. You're a joke.
It's the stupidest. It's so stupid. And again, it's a waste of time. And this party to me, it's a violent party. Any party that is going to cause harm to children, like they're so worried about children, they are harming children in this culture war.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Because kids are hearing this. They're hearing it. And they're being impacted. Like, I can't stand it. And then the other thing I just wanted to bring up is just, again, the violence of this party is Trump saying that when he gets elected, he's going to bring back firing squads. And another rep, and I don't even know where or what his name is because I don't care, but he wants to bring back hanging and, basically lynching. That's what they're busy doing. That's what they're busy doing while you guys are scrolling through TikTok and, going to Chick-fil-A and doing your things. Like, the world is burning down around us.
Well, whatever you do in your time when you're not working hard trying to provide for your families or whatever that you're doing, whatever it helps to keep your mind off of all of the troubles of the world, I totally understand it. I totally get it. But when it's time to check in and vote, you need to show up.
I mean,
you want to fucking disappear between elections? have at it. I understand. I am so fucking happy to not be involved as much as I am. I mean, I'm involved as far as like I read the news every day. I want to kill myself. But I'm not involved in like the political process because I can't fucking stand it. I can't stand what a fucking farce it is. I'm so happy to be out of that fucking pretend bullshit that we were in. It's pretend bullshit, Tina. Woo! And so I'm happy to be out of it. But at the same time, I'm not going to keep my eye off the ball because this is how they get away with the shit they've gotten away with.
Yeah.
This is how they've done it. And so we have to, this is our fucking state. This is our fucking country. It's our country. It's not their country.
They're in the minority.
And these motherfuckers, I put a tweet out. What happens when you take ego out of politics? Tell me what happens. People don't run for re-election over and over and over again. And there's things that people should, you know, there's one particular commissioner that I follow from Broward County. I am not going to name his name. But I follow him and I look at his tweets and he's very careful about what he says and what he doesn't say. And I think to myself, you know, I believe that he was part of that put the new Broward chair in office. He was part of that. And like, he's very careful about what he says. And the reason that he's careful is because he wants to be reelected. So he says certain things, but he won't say other things. And all of it's very calculated and curated in a way so that power continues to be on his side. But and I find that disturbing. That's right. I find that disturbing. You either put it on the line or you don't. You say what the truth is or you don't. If you're holding back on saying things because you're worried it's going to affect your reelection, you're not in this job for the right reasons.
For the people.
So get the fuck out. Now let's talk about the party. We're just real quick.
Oh.
We got a new party chair.
Yes.
So last Saturday we're like humming and hawing. Is that right?
Humming and hawing, yes.
Who's going to be the chair? Well, to my surprise.
Are you surprised? I was surprised. I thought that it was going to go that way.
When I retweeted this, somebody put the data up of like where the votes went. And she got all the committee people, which is what when you get the committee people from each party.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
It's the weighted vote. This bitch is going to win. Nikki Fried.
Thank God.
It's our new party chair.
Woo!
I'm blown away. I'm already, and I got to tell you, this week I'm already impressed with like, the things that they've been putting out. She put a video out, which is all right. And it's just a bunch of like, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you. Just do work. Right. I mean, I video, but like, get to fucking work.
But you know what? Like, and I said this last episode, but she did work. When she was in her last position, she did. You know what I mean? Like she held Ron. Remember, she used to call him Ron.
Yeah.
She held his feet to the fire as much as she could. So she's not someone who was afraid.
No, I know.
She's not someone who's afraid to go up against him. She's not someone who's afraid to speak her mind, and she's bold, and she does like to be out there. And so that's the kind of thing I think we need, because like the previous chair, I can't even recall seeing him once. You know what I mean? And she's been in this position. She's been in this position a week. And I feel like heard more from her.
Yeah, the party's putting out.
You know what I mean? So
they're putting out stuff. They're putting out stuff against the legislation that's going through. It's good. It's good. But tweets are great. But let's go. Right. How are we getting votes? How are we doing this? And I don't want to hear about. Our dear friend Alfredo tweeted like, I'm gonna give her 90 days to start like see what the plans are, and I'm like, no, I give her 1 day. Like if you don't have a plan the second you got elected, bitch, we aren't in the fucking right business.
Right.
But let's go. You already had 90 days where we had no chair. Like, what are we doing?
I want action items. Like, what are the action items? Like, tell me what to do. I'll go do it.
And I don't expect
all these changes for all the counties.
And by 2024, we're not going to see anything really that Nikki Fried did, because it's not going to take 2 years. It's going to take decades to see actual change here. But I want to see a plan in place that we're going to follow that is actually going to make change. I want to see some differences. And I want to see Rick Hoy put in place the shit that he had on his list for the state. I want to see that happen in Broward. I want to see it happen in Broward.
Let's do it. All right, are we ready?
Wait, I have a hot guy of the week.
Oh!
Because, I just want to also point out that on day one of this podcast, we could have predicted this, that Tina would have a banned book moment and I would have a hot guy of the week moment.
I love it.
Like from the beginning, the very first episode, we could have figured it.
Like who's our boy?
We're nothing but consistent.
Who's our baby
Guess who?
boy?
Guess who?
Hot guy of the week. Tell me.
Jeremy Allen White. Do you know who that is?
Jeremy Allen White.
From The Bear.
Oh!
Yes.
Yes.
Chef. Yes, chef.
Oh, yes, chef.
Yes, chef. He's so fucking hot, and he keeps winning all these awards. He won an Emmy for this acting. He just won a SAG award. I think he's gonna win.
He deserves all the awards.
Oh my god! If the award is my vagina, he does deserve it.
Awards. And you know what it is about him? And I think I've said
that reminds me of another joke I said this week. Somebody texted me a video of Jon Stewart going off on this guns guy. This gun's like, I don't know, somebody about guns. And he said, does Jon Stewart does he land in your like hot older Jewish guys that you would fuck? Oh. And I said, well, he's not bald, but Jon Stewart could get it.
Ooh.
And I said, and it means my vagina.
Oh my God. I have to.
Hi. Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart needs to go on the list, I mean.
Oh, all right.
But Chef, my God, you know, and I said this when I think we talked about when the show was like recently dropped or whatever. He, in that role, is so brooding, and that's what I love most.
Yes. Yes.
I love a brooding man.
Yeah. Yes.
I do.
And it's also because we want to like take them and make them feel better,
like,
and do that whole thing.
Adorbs.
He's adorable. And by the way, he's like 5'5". He's like
I
very
know,
tiny.
he is tiny.
But I'd hold him
and you
so
know what's
tightly.
Funny? My husband sent me an article because he's like,
he's funny, like, you like tall
I like tall guys.
Yeah.
And anytime there's an issue, I immediately comment on the height. Immediately. He's like, you got something against short men.
Oh.
And I said, yeah, I think I do. I just don't trust a short man. Like,
my daughter literally said that to me yesterday.
There's something about it. So he sent me this article The Guardian put out about like this sort of mindset. You know, beginning with like the Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
But they actually did research and they found that most people like have this like about short dudes, and then they looked at like psychopathy and violence and things like that connected to short people. It's very interesting. Yeah. So he's the exception to my rule, because you can't tell, with that magic of camera work, you can't tell that he's that short. So
you can start.
In my mind, he's taller than me.
Short people start violence. There's a lot we can work with here.
Please,
let me help you work through your anger issues. And
ooh,
mommy,
mother. Oh no,
no, not mother,
no,
but mommy.
No.
Mommy's cute. No.
Poppy maybe, but
God, oh my God, Tina. Oh my God, she's so funny. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Today, I am covering former director of the Domestic Policy Council, Claude Allen.
Oh.
And I just realized I didn't fly any of these by Alfredo, so hopefully
hopefully we're not matchy.
We're not going to mention anything.
Hopefully we're not twinnies.
Yeah.
Twin.
Okay, so Claude Allen was born in Philadelphia in 1960, but he grew up in the working class section of Northwest Washington, D.C. He attended Archbishop Carroll High School, a Roman Catholic school. His mother worked part-time at the Catholic school, and his father worked at a plumbing supply business. He once said in a television interview, quote, probably the vast majority of the kids who grew up in our neighborhood were either strung out on drugs or in jail or dead. Wow. In 1982, Allen graduated from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with his bachelor's degree. And he grew up in a Democratic household, but he took a job after college as a press secretary for Bill Cobey, a Republican congressional candidate in North Carolina. He's African American also, I should mention that. He switched parties, saying later in an interview, quote, I realized after the fact that I agree more with the Republican Party platform, and it talked about independence, and that it talked about individual responsibility, individual rights. It talked about the ability to guarantee opportunities and not outcomes. Allen subsequently began working for Republican Senator Jesse Helms of North Carolina. He was Helms' campaign spokesperson in 1984 when he was very young. He was like 24 years old, right?
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I covered old racist Jesse Helms in episode 127.
That's wild to me. He's working for this guy.
Right, but it's also not surprising that Jesse Helms would choose a young African-American man to be his spokesperson, because he was the accusations and the racist things that he would say all the time. He's like, look, I'm not racist, right?
I love that.
Right, that's basically what he was doing with this man. Then from 1985 to 87, Allen was a staff member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. So he returned to school in 1987, and he graduated from Duke University Law School with his Juris Doctorate degree in 1990. Wow. He also received a Master of Laws degree from Duke University School of Law. From 1990 to 1991, Allen was a law clerk for David B. Sentel, a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. famous for his role in the Whitewater investigation. So he was the judge in that case. Allen met and became a protege of Clarence Thomas, who was a judge on the court at the time Allen was clerking there. And after so he's like Allen, moving and shaking.
I know, but you're making some bad choices.
I know, but
you're making some bad. But
he's really moving around.
Himself
yeah,
forward.
He's worked in the Senate. He knows all these judges. Like he's he's working his way around. After his clerkship, Allen became an associate at Baker Bott's law firm in Washington, D.C. from 91 to 95. He then served in the Virginia Attorney General's office from 95 to 98, and then before becoming Secretary of Health and Human Resources for the Commonwealth of Virginia. So he's done a lot of work, even at a very, very young age, right? Okay. He's still in his 30s at that point. But then he gets to work in the White House, which is incredible.
Please.
Would a dream come true.
Me in the White House.
I would fucking love it. Now, I'd also like to say something else. Remember when we got the Kamala Harris invitation to the White House, and we were waiting for the invite from the White House email? We got it.
It was so exciting.
Now I'm getting spammed by the White House. I would like the White House spam to stop, please. Like, can we please stop? I go, and every time I get it, I go, oh, I've got to delete another email from the White House. Like, why do they keep sending me shit? Can we please stop?
I don't know why, but I just imagined, like, like the can of Spam, but like shaped like the White House.
Put it on a shirt!
Put it on a shirt, all right?
Merch that shit.
Please, buy some damn merch from us.
Oh, we're going to help us out. Tina made incredible shirts and toast. Why wasn't that at the top of the hour? Let's put it on the next episode. We'll have to talk about it. Okay. So, in 2001, Allen was appointed as the Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. In 2004, Allen was nominated by President George W. Bush to become a federal judge on the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. But his nomination was opposed by numerous educational, religious, and racial groups, including People for the American Way, the NAACP, and the National Organization for Women. The American Bar Association rated him as partially, quote, not qualified, end quote. Wow. His nomination was stalled in the Senate Judiciary Committee and lapsed on December 8th, 2005, so he was never appointed as a judge. Allen was then appointed to the position of Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy in January 2005, where he was responsible for providing advice on all non-economic policies, including education, healthcare, labor, housing, veterans, HIV and AIDS, and other domestic issues to the President, which is incredible. I think George W. Bush took a shine to him, liked him.
I mean, it's just the other thing that's incredible to me is there's so many... Because we just hear of, like, a lot of the time of our congressmen, our senators, and there's all of these other, committees and roles and, positions, and it's so much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's so much.
Well, head of the Domestic Policy Council, Allen jointly oversaw the White House task force that coordinated a response to Hurricane Katrina, along with the Homeland Security Council. So we know what happened there. I mean, what a mess. Here's how he feels on some issues. Allen has said of condom use, quote, "It's like telling your child, don't use the car, but then leaving the keys in the Lamborghini and saying, buckle up if you do," end quote.
What?
I don't know.
Just... Why is safe sex a bad thing? I don't understand. Do we not want to help... People have sex. Like, you can't force people to abstain from sex for your stupid religion.
I can't imagine.
I want to cancel religion. They say we cancel. Or can religion be canceled?
I'm ready.
I'm sorry.
I'm ready.
I don't mean disrespect to anybody.
Oh, no, fuck it. No,
I am tired. I am tired.
Although, when I hear Nick from Kardashians talk about the things that what he believes in his church and the things that he as a pastor he teaches and he preaches and all this stuff. It's like, holy shit, that if I had that, if that was the church, like, listen, right. I was raised Catholic. I was there every fucking Sunday. Like, I got it.
Yeah.
But even in that way, when I think about that judge last week that you said she's on a mission, like, to me, I immediately think about sitting in those pews as a child, and it's a lot different now when you go to Catholic church on Sundays than it was when I was a kid. Like, I'd gone throughout my entire marriage. I went every single Sunday with my family, and it was I had to get up and walk out several times because of the anti-abortion rhetoric from the priest.
Yeah.
up there speaking. It was shocking to me. It wasn't like that when I was a kid. And so when I hear
you're
about
not allowed to do that.
But then when I hear about like mission of God to jail children, I think to myself, that's not how I was taught about God. That's not the Jesus I heard about. That wasn't how it was. So it's shocking to me that these messages are getting twisted to propel their purpose of or their mission of what they think they're supposed to be doing in God's name. Not the God that I know. But when Nick talks about it, I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. It's acceptance, it's love, it's peace, it's joy. Like that's what I think it's supposed to be.
So let me I guess change to the Christian religious sect
Catholic is dark as fuck.
Yeah. Whatever religious sect is putting their hands in policy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you want to go have your religion and kumbaya all the night long? Like, good for you. But get your hands out of policy. Get your hands out of people's business. That's it. Like, live your life. Yeah. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Another good example is that new college that they keep
that they're wrecking. They're destroying. That was a haven.
Yeah, so that was a haven
for LGBTQ
Florida,
students.
And we've talked about it anyway.
It's deliberate.
But the group that started it, it was a reverend or a pastor who started that college, a new college in Florida, all those decades ago. But it was a safe place for the students who didn't feel like they fit in anywhere else. Right. LGBTQ, gender questioning, queer, whatever. But also, allies, open-minded people. And it was found, and the reverend who started it, he did testify at that panel this week, and he was like, you are going to, this is what you're doing is a direct opposite of what the purpose of starting this place.
Right.
I mean, it's,
and how they can do that, and I don't have any words, but that they could go into an educational institution and push their Christian rhetoric is insane to me. And we know that it's deliberate. Like, we're not stupid. People in the state are not stupid to go, wow, that's the first college that he pointed to? Give me a break.
It's and also
here's me a
break. Here's
the
bottom line too. Here's the bottom line with the college, with Disney,
with the SAT, the new Christian SAT that they want the kids to take.
Disney. What Disney did is in the First Amendment. It's called free speech.
Yeah,
they're allowed to say how they feel about anything.
Corporations without repercussions.
Yeah, they could lose business. If somebody's like, "Oh, Disney's pro-gay," I'm out. They don't have to go there anymore. That's what they're putting the bottom line.
Are we in North Korea?
The fact that the state stepped in is so violating, and the fact that they're using woke or this college of using what they think is the right thing, and they say woke, but what they're really saying is how they feel, right? It's how they feel,
ugly.
But it's also against the law. Like they're breaking the law. And DeSantis, let us please God. I cannot believe we haven't mentioned this. That DeSantis paid to fly people from Texas to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
And he was being sued by Senator Jason Pizzo for it because he broke the law. The money that was set there was to get people immigrants out of Florida. And now it passed. They passed
changing the law.
They just had a special session where they changed the law that you can use that money to fly immigrants out of any state. And so the lawsuit was thrown out by a judge this week.
Because it's like retroactive or something.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine this? That you have power to change laws, and that the people who are voting on this aren't going, wow, the guy that is in charge of all of us is having us change laws to suit and cover up his illegal activity.
Right.
And we're voting along with it. These are the people, the law and order people? These are the law and order people.
But let's be clear. What he did was against the law.
Yeah.
And he knows it, and so did everybody who's in the legislature. It was against the law. He gets sued, he changes the law.
Yeah.
And now the lawsuit gets dropped. Like, he clearly broke the law. And he
recognized that
it's goons of his to do this.
And that's proof that he broke the law. Because if he didn't break the law, he wouldn't need to do what he did. And the stupid people in the state that are going to check his box when he runs for president, I'm sorry. Anyone who votes for DeSantis, you're a dumb ass.
The Republicans,
you're an idiot. You're stupid.
The Republicans in the legislature should be held accountable for their actions for aiding and abetting a criminal.
Yeah.
That's what you did. That's what you allowed him to do. And by the way,
gross.
I got him in the middle. My story's almost done anyway. It's short. But let me just say this one last thing. No one's, I see your shirt, bans off our bodies. Nobody's talking about abortion.
Nope.
It's going down to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a heartbeat bill. And it's basically a ban on abortion. No, we're not even talking about that. That's slipping through.
Right.
Permitless carry has passed 2 committees. We got to get out.
Do you understand? Dumpster fire.
August 2029. That will be the last you see of me. My son graduates in June in 29, and then I'm out. I'm packing my shit up. I don't even know if I'll still be in this house, but my shit will be packed. August 2029. Expect me to be out of the state of Florida forever. I don't give a fuck. If I gotta put my parents in the trunk, they're coming with me. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I'm
making plans. The plans have been made. Like, that's it.
We are in danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. We are drowning. We are burning. Whatever catastrophe you can place on this state, that's what's happening. And it's going to creep its way up.
And you know what?
To the rest of the states.
You know the worst part
until America's engulfed in flames.
You know the worst part is we're not even naming half the things. And here's the other part.
I know. That's the thing. There's so many things that we can't keep up.
But the other part too is that
we can't keep up.
I know we sound like hysterical women.
I know.
That's okay.
Whatever.
We can sound like it.
Please.
But we're not lying. We're not fucking lying. This is the truth.
And we're not exaggerating.
So that's that.
Oh my God.
Florida, fuck off. And I gotta tell you, I love this motherfucking state.
But it doesn't feel like my
I love
state.
it. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
But I love it here. I love the fucking wacky tourists that drive through here.
Oh my God.
I love the fucking, you can see some guy pull his dick out in Broward Boulevard and know what the fuck's going on. I love that you can find bands play on any night of the week that will kill you. They're so fucking good. I love that the beach is packed with these spring breakers who are out of fucking control, like hanging out the elbow room. Like, there are things about this fucking town, this city that I fucking love so much, and this whole state. It's an incredibly beautiful state. When you come to Disney, I'm going to ask you to do something else as tourists. Pack up your car with a bathing suit and a towel and drive 2 hours northwest and go to the springs. Right. And look at we have so many natural beautiful springs here that you can swim in. It's always year round 78, 75 degrees in that water. It's fucking beautiful. We have one of the most beautiful states, most environmentally diverse states. It's an incredible place to be. And we're lucky to live here. It's unfortunate that it's been run by maniacs for 40 years, but it's an incredibly beautiful state. And I love it here. But it's not for me anymore. It's not for me. So Alan's anti-abortion. Surprise, surprise.
We went on a tangent. Leave us alone.
Go fuck yourself. Journalist Doug Ireland wrote that. By the way, you know what? Tina gave me a beautiful gift for my birthday last week. That album, which is so fucking good. And the whole time I'm holding it, I'm going, fuck you, you fucking bitch. Fuck, this is so fucking good. And I'm cutting that video. It's like, beep, 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 beep. I'm like, shit, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Why is my default happy? Like, you're a fucking bitch. Why? Why, Hillary? Oh, God. I have so much work to do. Thank God I'm going to therapy this week. Thank God. Why do I call my friend a fucking bitch when she gives me a nice gift?
I know that it comes from a place of love.
It does, I promise. If you ever introduce me to your parents, I promise I won't curse in front of them. I promise I will not do it. I will not do it. I'm really good with parents. Parents love me.
Oh my God.
Okay, so journalist Doug Ireland wrote that when serving as Health and Human Services Commissioner in Virginia, Allen opposed certain legislation because it included taxpayer funding for abortions. According to NNDB.com, quote, in 1984, as a press aide to Jesse Helms, Allen told the Greensboro News and Record, quote, we could expound on and undertake a campaign against Jim Hunt's connections with the homosexuals, the labor union connections, the radical feminist connection, and the socialist connection, end quote. This is somebody who's running against Jesse Helms. So, always threatening to attack based on connections to these communities. Okay, so what happens with this guy? This is crazy. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here, right? Because I was reading that he made like $160,000 a year working at the White House. Like something crazy with all of these different positions that he had. Okay, so.
And that was like Yeah. A while ago.
2005?
Yeah.
Okay, so Allen was apprehended by a Germantown Target store loss prevention manager on January 2nd, 2006. According to the charging document, Allen, quote, admitted to the agent that he was committing fraudulent returns, end quote.
Fraudulent returns? So, like, he stole stuff and then returned it? Or used it and returned it?
I'll tell you. So after the arrest, Malin Snyder, his attorney, said he would prove that the felony theft scam allegations are a series of misunderstandings. But then shortly after, he resigns his position like out of nowhere on February 9th, 2006, saying that he wanted to spend more time with his family. So
that's always a red flag.
Yeah. So he tells everybody at the White House, the president, everybody, oh, this is a misunderstanding, but you know what? I need to go spend time with my family. I'm out. And they're all like, okay, right? Yeah. And nobody thought twice about it.
They should have thought. I mean, it's obvious,
right? But then he was formally charged March of 2006 because they had reviewed the security video, and because he was like a high, like a known person, they didn't want to just charge this guy without knowing the facts.
Yeah,
so they did. They waited 2 months and then they charged him formally after they reviewed the security video and the credit card activity, and it showed similar behavior dating back to 2005. Police said that he took items from the shelf and then returned them for more than $5,000 to his credit card through about 25 similar transactions at other stores.
Wait,
so he would take things and then go
up to the return counter?
Yeah, and say I bought it with this credit card, and they would give him credit back on the credit card for it. So you put money back on your card.
So he wandering around. Oh, let me grab this Lego set.
Yes.
I gotta return this. My kid hated it. Didn't even walk out the store with it. Wow.
And he did that.
That's balls.
And he did it at several stores.
That's balls.
Yeah.
You throw it in a bag? How do you walk up with
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God, I would be so afraid to do something like that.
I know. Like, wouldn't they say, like, where's the receipt? I'd be like, oh, God.
Yeah, I would be like,
the receipt's like fucking gold.
Pouring.
Yeah.
So scared.
So, President George W. Bush said on March 11, 2006, quote, if the allegations are true, Claude Allen did not tell my chief of staff and legal counsel the truth, and that's deeply disappointing. If the allegations are true, something went wrong in Claude Allen's life, and that is really sad. When I heard the story last night, I was shocked, and my first reaction was one of disappointment, deep disappointment, that if it's true, that we were not fully informed. But it was also one, shortly thereafter, I felt really sad for the Allen family, end quote.
Oh. Right. And the thing is, this could be, like, remember when, what's-her-face, Winona Ryder, like, was, like, stealing stuff? Do you remember that? She went through that shoplifting phase or whatever. Yeah. Is it something like that where it's, like, I can just do it? Like, I don't need to do it, but, like, there's that thrill of, like, just being able to get away with, like, something petty like that? Well, there's some
explanation, but it doesn't really even, like, make sense to me. I don't know. So, he pled guilty to the theft in August 2006, and he said at the sentencing, quote, stealing is not something that I thought that I would ever do, and I did. I accept full responsibility for my actions and what I did. I am immensely sorry for that and very remorseful for the harm that I've caused so many. Something did go very wrong. I lost perspective and failed to restrain myself, end quote. His wife cited Hurricane Katrina as one of the stressful issues that Allen was grappling with last fall. So he was involved in a bunch of different things like that, like the Hurricane Katrina. So instead of maybe he felt like it was something he could control.
Maybe.
You know, when everything else was out of control.
Right, but that to me seems out of control.
Yeah. Montgomery County Circuit Court Judge Eric M. Johnson sentenced Allen to probation before judgment, a disposition available to first offenders in which the judge acknowledges the guilty plea but keeps it off the defendant's criminal record. When Allen completes his 2 years of supervised probation satisfactorily, his record would be expunged. Johnson did not sentence Allen to jail, but ordered him to reimburse $850 to Target for stolen merchandise, imposed a $500 fine, and demanded that he perform 40 hours of community service. So, years later, in September 2011, the D.C. Court of Appeals suspended his license to practice law in D.C. for 1 year after his license to practice law was suspended for 30 days in Virginia and Pennsylvania. And the opinion gave much discussion as to whether his act was of moral turpitude, concluding that it was not.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, because that's part of the deal with your ability to practice law. Like, you can't commit crime, I would imagine.
And also more recently, I didn't include this in the story because I was like, I don't know, but his son was found guilty of murder. Murdered someone.
No.
I know it's like a really fucked up story, but I was like, I don't know if this should, you know what I mean? Like, it's the kids, so.
It's not him, I get it, but it's just something.
It's part of, like, this whole weird, like, and it seemed sad to me, you know what I mean? Like, it was just sad, so, yeah. That's Claude Allen.
Like, what a trajectory.
I know. Super smart. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel
like it's so silly. I know,
yeah, and like that's like a petty crime. Like it's a crime. It doesn't hurt anybody. Right? You know what I mean? I mean, it hurts a corporation, but who gives a shit about corporations? You know what I mean?
But even like we were paying attention to the news then. We know what Bush was up to. Like everybody was. I never heard this story, but maybe it's because of the war and God knows what else. You know what I mean?
But yeah, there has to be some kind of thrill or something that you get out of being able to do that. Because clearly he made enough money. This wasn't about someone who needed these items,
right?
You know, he's not stealing a pack of Pampers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That to me is so interesting. Like people that do crimes like that they don't need to do. Like,
I know,
because it makes me wonder. Like, what is the thing? I guess the psychopathy, whatever it is, like the psychological reason that makes you like. Did he do it one time and was like, oh, well, let me do it again? Like whatever. And not that, like, I get it, like, nobody should steal, and corporations, and we end up paying more for it in cost, la, 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 la. But, you know, it wasn't a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Let's hit it.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? All right. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Jermaine Wright. Jermaine Wright served on the Adelanto City Council beginning in 2012, but when he's suspected of arson, his political career goes up in smoke.
Oh, she loves that up in smoke.
I do. I think I've used it probably so many times. But our story takes place in Adelanto, California in 2017. And this is a city in San Bernardino, California. And I actually stayed, that's the area I stayed in when I was in Cali for, I think I was there like 6 months or something.
By the way, that's the second time you've said Cali in 2 weeks on this podcast.
Oh,
and that clip that I pulled, it's like, whether you live in Massachusetts or Cali, I'm like, this should want to say California. Like,
no,
she's,
Cali.
Yeah, Cali.
Right? I mean,
it's so 90s. It's so 90s to say Cali.
It's so 90s.
You're so 90s.
All right, so I couldn't find much, but Beatrice Valenzuela's and Joe Nelson's Daily Bulletin article noted that Wright once served as a school board trustee for the city of Adelanto, and she also noted that he ran for the 1st District of San Bernardino's county supervisor position in 2012, but he lost, and then he won his seat on the Adelanto City Council in 2012. So he was running for these two positions, and when he won the city council position, he also won re-election to the school board seat at the same time. So he had to resign. He ended up resigning the school board seat so that he could take the city council seat. Like, but I thought it was weird that he ran for both things at the same time.
They do that.
Yeah.
They're hedging their bets.
Yeah, it's just weird. So an old Facebook post noted that the council unanimously voted him to mayor pro tem in 2015.
Wow.
So I'm going to just jump into the major incident.
Do it.
So the FBI, according to the Central District of California's U.S. Attorney's Office memo, started to get wind that something wasn't right in Adelanto. And Valenzuela and Nelson, who were writing again for the Daily Bulletin, noted that several folks had called the FBI about what they believed to be corruption. And so they sent in undercover agents to check things out, and that's in 2017. And they want to get the dirt. Like, and it didn't take long. It's like, boo, they go in there and it's like, they catch him. So according to the memo, Wright accepted a bribe. And again, this is that thing where like they, I don't know if they were suspecting people of taking bribes, so then they send undercover to present, you know.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked about this many times. Like, is this, you know, entrapment? But the thing is, like, if you take the money and then you're taking the money more than once, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So he accepted a bribe of $10,000 to get votes for a marijuana business. So basically, like, it was for marijuana businesses to protect from code enforcement so that they, you know, could get their licenses, and so it could be easier for them to have their businesses. And it's kind of a bribe, but again, according to the memo, this wasn't someone just handing him cash. This was months-long, like, negotiations where they settled on $10,000. So they're going back and forth. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do it for this one, that's one, and they're having these conversations, and then they settle on $10,000. So he's fully aware.
Yeah, and
it's also not like someone coming up in a trench coat being like, "Hey, I got $10,000 for you." You know what I mean?
Yeah, or like this. Hey, I got for you.
Yeah, you know, like this is like, he had conversations, he thought about it, he went back and forth with numbers, you know? So like,
well, that's
you're invested.
When you say entrapment, I was thinking to myself, let's just make it a rule.
Yeah.
Don't take money.
Don't take money.
Stop asking. When people say, okay, we'll give you something, say, no, thank you, and get up and walk the fuck out.
Right.
Like, you don't know what it is, so that's why entrapment's like bullshit.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
And not only was it $10,000, but he also asked for what he called a stack of $2,000 every single time he helped or blocked the code enforcement.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So like, he's
got a nickname. This guy, he's done this before.
Okay, so you know what I mean? He knew this guy knows what he's doing.
Oh
right?
my god!
So, and he took the opportunity.
Wow.
And another press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office cited the affidavit, which detailed how much money switched hands. So, quote, during a meeting on October 6th, Undercover One then placed $10,000 on a box being used as a table, made up 2 stacks of $50 bills, and told Wright, that's for you or your nonprofit whatever. Wright responded, my nonprofit. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Wright eventually placed the $10,000 in his pocket.
Whoa.
Can you imagine that?
I just want someone to hand me $10,000.
Just give me money, please. Invest in it. We need some angel investors for the podcast.
So I need angel investors from my ass.
Help us out.
No, give me $10,000 podcast. Give me $10,000.
No, invest in the podcast and then you'll get more than $10,000. All right, so things didn't stop there. According to the memo, Wright reached out to the undercover agent again. But this time he wanted someone to help him burn down his restaurant.
What?
So he had a restaurant. And
oh my god!
That he had started the year prior, and he wanted someone to go in and burn it down so he could collect the insurance. And the agent,
freaking Goodfellas shit right there.
Yeah, the agent put him in touch with an alleged electrician so that it could look like an electrical fire.
Oh my god, dude!
And
this guy, good.
He met up with this fake electrician. He planned the day and time for the arson to take place, and he paid the undercover agent $1,500 for the job. So, like, not only did he take this bribe, but now he's like in this other scheme.
No
to collect,
good.
Like, I think it was like $350,000.
Bro, he better just plead guilty. I don't want to hear someone like, oh, not me.
Right. So, what's more,
no,
he takes this electrician on a tour of the restaurant to help him scope out spots and ensure that, like, this thing burns to the ground.
Wow.
So,
a fake electrician?
Yeah, well, he doesn't know that it's a fake electrician.
I know, but
yeah, I know.
Who's that guy?
The guy's like,
these feds are great actors, I'll tell you what.
Really? Do
they know anything about electricity?
Wait. Do you think that they have, like, Academy Awards for, like, the best undercover agent of the year? Like, are they having these, like, underground parties? Wouldn't that be fun? Can you invite us? I'd love to go see that.
We can host it. We'll host the
we'll be the MCs!
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
Wait to see this guy's work. Roll the tape. And it's like that black and white grainy video of like back to the back.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah.
All right, so one of his fellow, so the agents basically like approach him at the restaurant and he confesses. He like,
says
everything.
Good.
One of his fellow, there's no way.
Yeah, you're an idiot. Yeah. I can tell you, just be honest.
One of his fellow councilmen, Charlie Glasper, told Daily Bulletin's Valenzuela and Nelson, quote, I'm very disappointed. I didn't know he was conniving and doing these things behind the scenes like that. What he did was totally uncalled for if it is true. I wouldn't expect someone of his caliber to be participating in something like that.
Oof.
And so the charges were solicitation and bribery and 1 count of attempted arson. And he was found guilty of 1 count of bribery of programs receiving federal funds and 1 count of attempted arson. And in October 2022, according to the Central District of California's U.S. Attorney's Office, Wright, who was 46 at the time, was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison.
Wow.
And
what a shame.
Ray De La Cruz of the Daily Press reported that the trial took only 6 days. Like, the evidence was very clear. There was no doubting what happened.
I can't believe they did a trial. Just
go before the judge,
get the fuck
right?
Out. Yeah.
So De La Cruz also cited the prosecutor's sentencing memo, which stated, quote, unfortunately, Wright's decision to accept a $10,000 bribe payment was not a one-off event. The recordings in this case show that he spoke to the undercover agent over a period of months. So again, this wasn't like, oh, I made this one faulty error in this. I had a lapse of judgment in a moment, right? Months of negotiations. Sorry, dude. Oof. So the aftermath. The council met in 2017 after Wright's arrest to hold a special election to replace Wright, according to Joe Nelson's Sun article. Nelson also wrote that 6 folks were vying for the position at the time, and this guy, Gabriel Reyes, won. And then the next mayor, Rich Kerr, who sat on the council ended up with his own legal troubles like shortly thereafter and faced charges, and some of them were actually tied to this case, but that's like its own muck story on its own.
Jesus.
And then some, funny points of interest. One part that I thought was funny and interesting was that Wright actually hired someone to potentially assault him so that the feds would drop the case against him. Yeah. He's like, come beat me up. Yeah. According to the Daily Press.
He just thinks of everything bad. Like, his whole brain is just broken.
Wright was recorded as wondering what the fee would be to, quote, get my ass beat.
Jesus!
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
So he continued, quote, and it needs to happen quickly, though. Beat to the point where I have memory loss.
Wait a minute, what? What's wrong with you, bro? Just fucking, oh my God. God, you know what I mean? Just, you're such a criminal. Just fucking do the time and stop. Know when to fold them. Know when to fold them. It's not when you're getting your brain beaten in. And all memory loss.
He goes, beat to the point.
Lobotomy, basically.
Yeah, beat to the point where I have memory loss. All the rest of the stuff, they have to let me go. I have a good ass attorney.
Oh, wait a minute.
And allegedly, but this is the funnier part. Allegedly, he was beat up by someone 4 days before his arrest, according to the Daily Press. But there were no visible injuries.
Wait, what?
Like the police are called in, he's like laying on the ground. And they take him.
This guy's got so much he's got so many issues, bro.
They take him to the hospital and there's like nothing. Like, and he's like, oh, I was robbed, this and that. Like, there's no injuries.
So
like,
he just took it upon himself to throw himself on the ground and be like, oh,
yeah, something happened, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Dope. This guy's such a dope.
Oh my God.
Poor
so
guy.
The other thing I thought was interesting is that the city Adelanto had about a 30-year history of corruption. Like, it's just one thing after, there's just certain towns and certain places where it's a cycle of corruption. Like, it's funny to me. Why,
well, I think also they
works.
come in, like the next guy comes in and he's like, I'm going to do better. I'm going to make sure I clean this place up. And people like, oh, thank God. And then he's fucking creep too. Like, they just don't know when to quit. They don't know when to quit.
And then the last thing is, which I thought, was kind of sad, is he had this restaurant that he started, and it was called Fat Boys Grill, and it was opened in 2016. And he told Shay Johnson of the Daily Press at the time, quote, "This is a labor of love and a vision my wife and I had for a long time. We had promised that we were going to put a point of sales here in Adelanto, and this is our opportunity to do that." So, I mean, I get it. Like, I think it was $300,000, $350,000. Like, it's a lot of money to get, but, this was, when you read the article, like, they were excited about it. It was like a place that people were like, yeah, I don't know. And then to go, wow, a year in, and restaurants are hard. They're notorious. Like, people sometimes don't, we just talked about the Bear. Like, it's really hard to keep a restaurant going, and it's expensive and all of that. And a year in to go, God, now we like lost everything we invested, and you see an opportunity to get $300,000 and recoup some of your money. Like, I get it. But at the same time, like, the destruction that you're causing, and I don't know. So, you're going to love this. So that's the story of the mayor who almost lit up the joint, Jermaine Wright.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The end. This is the end.
What, are you saying the door's still How dare you? How dare you? This is the end. Every time I hear Jim Morrison say that, I go, yeah, this is the end. Get the fuck out. Yeah,
Channel
bye.
change.
Next. I cannot stand that band. And you know what else? The stink of me hating the Doors went on to Val Kilmer when he started as Jim Morrison in the Doors. Like,
and now you hate him as an actor?
Yeah, now I couldn't. After that, I was like, fuck Val Kilmer.
God, I remember that.
I mean,
movie.
It was bad enough. Top Gun was
movie,
bad enough with Val Kilmer. That was bad enough.
What was he? Iceman? Ice Cube?
Yeah, Ice Cube. Go fuck yourself. If one more person's like, the new Top Gun is great, I'm gonna jump out the fucking window. I don't care. I didn't like the first one. I don't care about the second one. Except Miles Teller, who is so fucking cute.
Oh, wait, we have to do our banned books moment.
Oh, okay, yes.
All right.
Yes, please.
All right. This is
I'll get off the hot guys again. I'm so sorry. I just love hot guys.
All right. So, in the light of, Republicans trying to steal everybody's rights, I wanted to do a quote from The Giver, the book The Giver.
Okay.
I don't know if you've read it. Maybe your kids have read it. It's a good book. Anyway, it says, it's very short. It's the choosing that's important, isn't it?
Yes, Tina. It is important.
No, you don't.
No, I agree. What do you mean?
She doesn't like the banned book moment.
I love the banned book moment. It's that you look at me for a reaction.
Yes.
And it just, I'm triggered because I told you this is what my mother would do. She would open up a book and she would go, and I go,
I do this to my son. I do this to my son.
This is what you did to me in the car in Tallahassee. I already discussed this. She read a poem to me and she goes, and she looks at me with this eyes, and I go, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. That's amazing. Yeah. That's a great quote. That's great.
They're taking away all of our rights to make decisions.
It's supposed to be a free country.
We're supposed to be. But the fact that he calls it free when he's like, we are the furthest thing from free.
I said it on my Twitter this week, which I love to put my garbage up there. Florida is where freedom goes to die.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to lock up bloggers.
Yes.
If you write a blog in Florida and you criticize DeSantis or you talk about DeSantis, you have to register with the state.
Can you imagine this? So we're on a list now. And then I was wondering, does that go for podcasts?
Yes, it does. We would be included in that. Yes, we would be included.
So wait, we can't talk about him? Oh, can we just say he who shall not be named? Can we come up with like a Voldemort kind of like tag for him?
I don't know, but if people like a Chip LaMarca, who I've mocked him for his small fingers and his wife's lack of orgasms, I could be personally sued by Chip LaMarca for saying things that aren't true, that are what I'm alleging, what I'm assuming about him, right? I mean, not the short fingers thing. I mean, let's take the ruler out. I mean, this is ridiculous, these fingers, but the wife's lack of orgasms, that was just an assumption. Like, that was,
I mean, we're just look. This is a
podcast. I'm 2 days from being 45 years old. I can size up a man whether he can give somebody an orgasm or not. At this point,
I can't believe that we can be personal. But I mean, so what? That's going to be orgasms. Oh, well, that's going to be what, retroactive or no, or moving forward?
Moving forward.
They just want us to be silent. They want to silence us.
Right. They want us to have fear that we will be sued if we say something. Which is against the First Amendment. Which is why they're going to waste their time on that, whatever that blog bullshit is. They're going to waste their time with this bill. It'll pass.
It'll go to court.
It'll pass. It'll go to court. And then we'll throw it out. The ACLU will challenge it. It'll get thrown out. Meanwhile, people are
moving out of their houses because they can't afford to.
Right. Like, it's... here's the thing. I used to think like fighting for this, fighting for that, supporting the party, supporting candidates would help us, but we don't have a fucking chance in hell in the next couple of decades. That's why I have to leave, because at some point we have to say it's enough. We can't do anything anymore, and we have to leave. Yeah. We have to leave because no one's coming to save us. So I got to save myself.
Yep. All right. Well, on that happy note.
Yeah. Fuck off, Florida.
Bye. Bye.